Hi, my name is Brittany McEwen and I'm the coordinator of Concurrent Enrollment here at Johnwood Community College. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our Smart Start Concurrent Enrollment program. This is a program for high school students. So we'll talk about the cost, we'll talk about transferability, how to register, and we'll also talk about some next steps once students are registered. So this will be a short presentation. My contact information will be at the end of this presentation, so please don't hesitate to reach out if you do have additional questions or concerns. Okay, so let's briefly review what concurrent enrollment is. So as you can see on the slide, concurrent enrollment could be a dual credit course, which we define as a college course taught by a high school instructor at the high school. It could be a general education course, so maybe a course that's taught online, or maybe a course that is here on our Johnwood campus. It could also be a career and technical course, maybe a course within our welding program or our electrical program, or it could be part of our Smart Start ACE pathway. This is an advanced concurrent enrollment pathway. It is more for those high achieving students, but the idea is to earn an associate degree upon high school graduation. So if you are interested in this program, please reach out to me or your high school guidance counselor. Okay, on this slide you will see some most popular courses for our high school students. So at the top there, English 101 or English 102 to go along with 101. Speech, math, elementary statistics, and college algebra are very popular. There are higher level math courses as well. Intro to sociology, intro to psychology, history or humanities. And then we also have options in education, welding, and agriculture. I also have an example registration form and how we lay out those courses on the registration form within this slide. So this is specific to one high school, but every high school has different courses listed on their form. And you can find those forms on our Johnwood website, and I'll have that on the last slide and throughout the presentation, so take a look at that. I do want to point out that in concurrent enrollment classes, students are expected to be responsible like any traditional college student. They definitely want to attend class, meet those deadlines, and own their schedule. So once they're registered, they want to make sure that they're continuously registered in that class. They want to make sure they're meeting those deadlines so they're not dropped from that class. And you know, if they are dropped, they need to contact their instructor as soon as possible. Okay, so let's talk about the requirements to participate. As you can see there, number one is a 2.8 GPA or better, or also a counselor recommendation or instructor recommendation. And I work very closely with the high school counselors, so you definitely want to start with them if you're interested in doing a college course. For English 101, the 2.8 GPA is a requirement. Then when we're looking at math specific courses, that 2.8 GPA is also a requirement, and Algebra 2 and Geometry with a C or better. Now if students don't meet either one of these, or maybe they meet one and they don't meet the other, then we can do AccuPlacer testing. And that is free to the student. We can schedule that at the high school campus, we can schedule that here on our Johnwood campus, and I would work again with the counselor very closely if we do schedule that on the high school campus. So students would be tested in reading, writing, and math on the AccuPlacer. And then I also want to point out again that good attendance is key. So you want to meet those deadlines. If it's an online class, you want to log on and make sure you have your calendar updated, make sure you know when those deadlines are. You also want to have motivation, so you want to be motivated to have good attendance, of course, whatever that looks like for you or for the student, and how do you stay motivated throughout the semester. And then lastly, I want to point out that some classes may have a prerequisite. So when we're looking at developmental psychology, if a student's interested in that course, they do have to take Intro to Psychology before they would take the developmental psych class. So there are other courses that are set up like this, and I would work with the student to make sure those prerequisites are met before they would participate in that class. Okay, so cost. This is a very important and probably the most popular question I get asked. What is the cost for a concurrent enrollment course? So as you see on the slide, in the yellow dot, students do get that 25% discount on on tuition and universal fees. So this is for all high school students on every course that they would enroll in. So when we're looking at lecture-based in the classroom courses, the total cost per credit hour would be $122.25. This includes the 25% discount. So then we can estimate a 3 credit hour course, which most courses will be 3 credit hours, is going to be around $366.75. And then with an online course, so there is an additional fee with an online course. Per credit hour, the total cost is going to be $152.25. So then on average, a 3 credit hour online course will be $456.75. Additional costs could be lab fees if they are associated with that course. That could be book fees if not already purchased by the high school. So you definitely want to check with your high school, see if that book, specifically English 101 and 102 or speech that's taught at the high school, or even like a biology that's taught at the high school. Talk with your guidance counselor and see if that book is provided. If it's not, then you would want to purchase it from our bookstore or Amazon or Chegg or any other online bookstore website that you are comfortable with purchasing a book from. You want to make sure that the ISBN number matches, the edition matches, or anything else, software, anything else that the course would use. We do update our bookstore website with a book list around 3 to 4 weeks before classes start. And I will send out a reminder during the summer and before spring classes start to remind you to get your books and where you can find those at. And then just to note that there are some scholarships available, but they are based on high school attending. So you want to visit our website to see if your high school is participating in that, or check with your guidance counselor as well, or give me a call and I can tell you yes or no, and I can tell you the amount as well. Okay, so let's talk about transferability. This is another important question that I get asked. I do have Andrew Habakati here, the Director of Advising and Retention, and he's going to talk to you about what that looks like and what you need to know. So what that process is in transferring.
Thanks, Brittany. My name is Andrew Habakati, and I'm the Director of Advising and Retention here at John Wood Community College, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the transfer process. So pulling up my screen here. This is a document that I share with high school counselors and students alike, just a little bit about the transfer process and things that I think and we think in the advising office at John Wood are important for students to think about as they're going through this, especially students that are doing concurrent enrollment courses like many of you. So the very, very first thing and the most obvious is pick a major and transfer school as soon as possible. This is obviously one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, but simultaneously we're sympathetic to the fact that a 17, 18-year-old may not know exactly what it is that they want to do and or exactly where it is that they want to transfer to or start in a four-year institution. And so we're understanding of that. We understand you may not know, but it's really, really helpful for us to know if you have a school in mind or schools or a major or majors in mind. We can take those majors and we can look across the board to see what things match and how they all fit together, basically, because odds are your very, very first semester that you do at college, or even if it's your first or second dual credit or concurrent enrollment course, odds are we'll be able to find commonalities across programs so that regardless of what it is that you choose to do long term, as far as a major goes or as far as a transfer school goes, we'll be able to find something for you that's going to fit all possible options for you. So even if you're not 100% sure what it is that you want to do, having some kind of an idea and sharing those ideas with us will be immensely helpful to make sure we get you off on the right track. The second thing that we've got here is visiting colleges and universities you're interested in attending. This kind of goes hand in hand with the fifth point, which is researching. I'm going to talk a little bit about the visiting first. Obviously, if you plan to go to an institution, whether it's a John Wood or any kind of a four-year institution, it is hugely important to go and visit those places, because you're not going to get a true experience of whether a place is a good fit for you until you're physically present there. So we're always encouraging students to go to campuses to visit, because you'll get a feel for the staff, the faculty, the atmosphere of the campus, and that's going to be probably one of your biggest indicators of whether an institution is the right fit for you. In addition to that, since COVID has become a thing, a lot of institutions, four-year institutions, are incentivizing students coming to visit campuses by offering small dollar one-time scholarship opportunities just for visiting. So for instance, I've heard of four-year institutions in the past couple of years that are offering a one-time $500 scholarship just for scheduling an in-person visit. Everybody's going through weird stuff, even to this day, and will probably continue to for the upcoming couple of years in regards to COVID and how that's affected everyone. And so take advantage of those things. There are some schools that are really trying to get students back in person and on campus and engaged. And so doing those types of things could lead to a scholarship opportunity for you. And then the fifth point I'm going to skip to there is researching schools online. So maybe you're going to do an online program, or maybe you're just trying to get a feel for which four-year institution is right for you, and you just want to start by looking on the web. That's the best possible thing to do. It's the easiest, it's the most time sensitive, it's the most cost effective. It doesn't cost a thing, just a little bit of time. And so why that's important for us is because all four-year institutions, two-year, four-year institutions, all of the information that you need to make an educated decision should be very readily and easily available to you on websites. Every website's going to look a little bit different, obviously, but you'll still be able to get out there, get a feel for what they have, look at requirements, get a feel for which courses that you should take as a concurrent enrollment student or beyond. But more importantly, I like to point out the fact that as you're doing your research in institutions, one thing that we like to point out as advisors is if you are going about your research online and you have a hard time finding information, that's kind of a red flag for us. But if you ever do have a hard time finding information, you can always reach out to us in the advising office. Even if your intention is not necessarily to go to John Wood, but maybe just do a concurrent enrollment course or two while you're in high school, we could still do research for you to figure out information from four-year institutions as far as their courses go. So if you have a hard time finding information, don't hesitate to contact us. If we have a hard time finding information, that's a huge red flag. Every now and again, we'll run into a situation where information is not readily available on college websites, and that usually tells us that, hey, if they're not being transparent, that's probably not a great sign for the future. We're never going to make decisions for you. We're just going to present the information in front of you and let you make a decision. But that's one thing to look out for, is if you have a hard time finding information, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. You can contact us, but if we have a hard time finding information, that's not usually a good thing. So keep those things in mind. Third point here, keep in touch with an academic advisor. If you're doing concurrent enrollment courses with us, I mean, you'll have our concurrent enrollment coordinator in Brittany, but you also have access to all of the academic advisors, just like any degree seeking student would. So again, even if your intent is not necessarily to go to John Wood, we can still help you the same as we help any other student. So if you have more in-depth questions that Brittany can answer as far as how the transfer process works from John Wood courses to a four-year institution or a specific program, gotta let us know, because we'll be able to give you really quick, concise, straight answers as to what's probably going to be a better option than others, and what may not be a better option compared to others. So again, keep the lines of communication open with an academic advisor wherever you plan to attend. If it's a concurrent enrollment course, John Wood advisors are always here. If you plan to go to John Wood in the future, obviously we'll be here to help you. But also, too, don't be afraid to reach out to four-year representatives, because they'll be able to do the same thing that we're able to do in regards to how courses will work for transfer. The fifth point here I kind of already talked about. So going to the sixth point here, always double check your courses will transfer again. I've been like a broken record on this, but it's obviously the most important thing. You don't have to wait to figure out if your course is transferred to a four-year school or not. Again, academic advisors at the community college level. If you're doing concurrent enrollment courses with us, we can help you figure these things out. Brittany can help you figure these things out, but don't be afraid to go straight to the four-year school to get your answers either. even before you sign up for a course, if you're just kind of exploring options that you think are going to allow you to get ahead, if you've got a 4-year school in mind, don't hesitate to reach out to them to let them know, hey, this is where I plan to do a concurrent enrollment course. This is my planned major. I plan to come to your 4-year institution. How's this going to work? Is it going to be a good fit? They should be able to give you those answers. Now, depending on where you're trying to go, if you're going to a larger institution, sometimes those answers don't come as quickly as you would like for them to. So again, bouncing ideas off of the people here. If you're doing concurrent enrollment courses with us, whether that be Brittany, whether it be any of the academic advisors in the advising and retention office here, we can help you get the answers that you need in a really quick, concise fashion. And just because you get an answer from us doesn't mean you can't go and get an answer from a 4-year school too. As a matter of fact, that's what we encourage, especially if it's early on and you have time to do it. If you're proactive in signing up, ask us, we'll give you an answer. Go to the 4-year school, they'll give you an answer. And if those two things line up, then obviously you know you're in good hands and in good shape. So again, always double check with somebody. If you change your mind on your transfer plan, your 4-year institution, your major, you got to keep the lines of communication open, just because you know that could alter the scope of some of the courses that we would encourage you to take or that would fit within your plan. So again, my name is Andy Hapicotti, the Director of Advising and Retention at John Wood Community College. My information is up here in the corner. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thanks.
Thank you, Andy. All right, so to continue, just to review some of the benefits. So cost savings, as we talked about, the cost, the 25% discount to all high school students, that's awesome. Students are going to pay that community college price, which is definitely lower than what a university level course could cost. University level courses are around $400 per credit hour. And then students could also get that dual credit, so both high school and college credit while they're in high school. So that's an opportunity for students. And this can also, allow students to get that educational advantage, so a jump start on their college career. It could ease that transition from high school to college. Students are going to earn those credits that fulfill those university general education requirements. And at any 4-year, students are going to have to take general education courses. Okay, so jumping in on how to register. There is a registration form that students would need to complete. This is an example registration form. As you can see, it's specific to Liberty High School, but again, every high school has their own registration form. It would look very similar to this form. Students need to fill out the front of the form with their personal information. I also will need a good email address. I would steer clear of the high school email address, as some of our John Wood emails do not go through to a high school email address, but it does need to be one that you do check, or the student does check often. Also, the student needs to select what course they're interested in. For fall and spring, all the courses will be listed on the form. And then on the back side, there are some additional questions. And then there is a FERPA release that is embedded within this registration form. So FERPA allows us to speak with a parent or guardian that would be listed on this form. So I definitely encourage students to sign the form and put their parents' information down, email, phone number, and then the parent needs to sign this as well. So once I have the registration form, I'll kind of look at what courses the students are taking and if there's any prereqs that go along with that. I will most likely need the high school transcript. I can work with the guidance counselor to get that. The student can also have the guidance counselor send that directly to me. And then once I have both the form and the transcript, I will get the student registered, and we will start the process of billing. I'll send the schedule out in the mail, and then the BlazerNet login and all the course information will be sent out as well. I do want to mention that we are piloting online registration, so in the next couple of weeks, I will have an online registration ready to go. Okay, so registration begins. So summer registration has already started. March 7th was our first day to register for summer. To register for summer, I would just need students to fill out the online summer registration form, pretty simple. They don't need to know the exact course they're interested in. All they need to do is put maybe the subject that they're interested in. And we can look and see what's available and the timing, if it's online, if it's on our John Wood campus, we can talk about that. Once I get that registration form, I'll contact the student directly and we can get everything scheduled and taken care of. Fall registration does start March 28th, so we will be starting that soon, and we will continue fall registration until the first day of class, so August. But the sooner we get students registered, the better, as classes do fill up pretty quickly. Okay, so once students are registered, I just want to point out a few next steps that they need to be aware of. There is an orientation PowerPoint on the website. It talks about BlazerNet, how to log in. It talks about the John Wood email account. Students want to review their schedule, and they can do all that through Solar. They can pay their bill through Solar. Solar is where parents and students would go to set up a payment plan, and there are directions on our website on how to do that. But students enroll through Solar, and the sooner you would get signed up for that payment plan, the better. Canvas is where students do online classes, so that material will be all online, tests, quizzes, assignments. It's all done through Canvas unless otherwise stated by the instructor in Canvas or in Solar. Math students now, math courses are done through Alex. There is information in Canvas, but all the math will be done through Alex, A-L-E-K-S, and I do have, on this slide, I do have the link for that and with more information if you're interested in doing a math class. And then again, purchasing books needs to be taken care of, and I can provide more information on that at a later date. And if you have questions, you can always call me. I can tell you exactly what book the student would need, or the student can call me and I can help them out with that. And then again, summer registration or summer classes will begin on June 6th, and fall classes will begin in August. And more to come on the August start date. So again, I just want to note how important it is to take care of the bill. So all costs that are not covered by the high school, again, must be taken care of by the due date. We do drop students if payment is not taken care of. Okay, so that is all I have for this presentation. Again, it was brief. I'm sure you have some additional questions or concerns. Here is my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, my name is Brittany McEwen. My phone number 217-641-4339. That is my direct line. You're always welcome to send me an email, and my email address is there. And then I do have a link to our Smart Start website. This is specific for high school students. It has the registration information. It has a little informational video on there. But at the bottom of the page, I do have the orientation. It has the handbook. It has our bookstore link on there. So just all the information that you could possibly need, but you're always welcome to contact me or meet with me to do scheduling or to answer any questions that you may have. So again, thank you, and don't hesitate to reach out. Have a good day.